Well, hey there, it's Jen, and I am a Zazzle expansion expert. If you don't know who myself and Elka are, we have been coaches on the online platform called Zazzle for the past 8 years now, since 2017. And I have personally been on the Zazzle platform since 2008. And we are coming live to you today to let you know about an event that's happening in the next couple of days and also introduce our 10-part mini series that we recorded and are live on YouTube, and it's all talking about what I wish somebody would have told me when I first started out on Zazzle. And the first couple of episodes have launched already. They are uploaded on our YouTube channel, and they are speaking about some really great pain points that you might personally have and are worrying about or struggling on because you are starting out on Zazzle, or maybe you've been on the Zazzle platform for a while and you just wish somebody would tell you exactly what to do. And this 10-part mini series is going through some topics that both Elke and I struggled with when we first started out on the online platform, because when we started out in 2008, there was no YouTube channel that introduced or told you instructions on how to start an online business with Zazzle. There was no information out there. Of course, Zazzle had its platform and had some instructional things, but it was very basic. And so both Elke and I had to really figure out what was going on the Zazzle platform in order for us to make money. We made $90 in our first year. And believe me, that was very, very upsetting. For me, not so much, because I was in, just coming out of high school and I was in university, kind of, figuring out where I wanted to go with my career. But Elka was very, very upset and was very nervous because she had just recently quit her corporate job where she was making over 6 figures a year and decided to stay at home with her children, which are now myself and my younger brothers. Obviously, we're much older now, but she had decided to stay at home with us to look after us and take care of us. And so she tried to make Zazzle work for her. And in both of our first years, it was very upsetting and nerve-wracking to go from a certain amount of income to saying, hey, there's $90 in my paycheck. And we actually had to wait until the payout of the next year, because you're not actually allowed to earn the amount of money until you earn over $100. And so we had to wait until the next year for the payout to come. So understanding that we all had different struggles and having different experiences on the Zazzle marketplace, I can just list them off for you right here. We're going to be talking about, in this 10-part series, part one is, why aren't my designs selling? Okay, so why aren't my designs selling? And that's talking about, SEO, understanding intentional products, really honing in on your avatar. Part two is called, I don't know what to design. Okay, and so those two are out already. And also part three is out. Part three is, I feel overwhelmed by Zazzle's design tools. You might not know how to navigate the design tool, or feel frustrated that you don't know every single little thing that's a nuance in the design tool, how to mask things, how to pattern things, etc. We're not going into depth in terms of showing you what the design tool looks like, but we're giving you some information on what we would have been like to have been told when we were first starting out on Zazzle, how the design tool works. Part four, which is coming out on March 1st, which is tomorrow, is my designs look blurry, or they are low quality. Okay, and that means that you're understanding on how to upload your designs properly. Part four was that. Part five is, I don't know how to get my designs listings seen. Part six is, Zazzle feels too competitive. Part seven is, I don't understand SEO and keywords. Part eight is, earnings confuses me. What products should I be making? And part nine is, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And then part 10 is, I'm not a professional designer, and can I still make money on Zazzle? Okay, and so that's the 10-part mini series that is out on YouTube right now, so you can go and binge watch those. They are really informative, and it's all these things that we wish someone would have told us when we were first starting out on Zazzle. Like, for example, I'm not a professional designer. Am I still able to make money online with Zazzle? And yes, of course you are. The Zazzle design tool allows you to make money online with Zazzle without having a graphics related Photoshop program, without being introduced to AI, without having any knowledge or experience prior to just even playing on the design tool and trying to figure it out. When I first started out on Zazzle, I had no design skills whatsoever. I can't even draw to save my life. I could probably, draw a really good stick man. I'm learning, but I'm not skilled in the sense that I have my own amazing, beautiful creations, and then that's what I've uploaded on the Zazzle marketplace to sell. I've learned how to do Photoshop on my own. I've learned how to use Canva. I've learned how to do all these things, and so it's just a learning curve and a learning process. But you don't need those things to start out. You can just post a product for sale as a text-based design, and it can potentially sell because you've used the right keywords, you've used the right design skill sets that you have to create an intentional product and to create a product that is serving a customer's need. And we always go back to what an intentional product is. And that means that you've done the research within your niche, and it's doing the research with the product types as well. So, for example, if you have a specific niche and you are wanting to get into that, but then all of a sudden you create certain products that really make no sense for that niche or are not being searched for, but you have a beautiful design on that product, then it doesn't translate, right? You have this beautiful design on a product that maybe is not going to sell in that particular niche because people aren't looking for it. And so you have to do your initial research to figure out what is going to sell within your niche and what product types. And there are so many things that I wish people would have told me when I was first started out on Zazzle. But like I mentioned, there were no coaches, there were no YouTube channels like this one. There wasn't an Elka, there wasn't a Jen. And that's why both Elka and I decided that we want to help our potential clients learn how to make money online with Zazzle, because there is the potential to make the money out there, right? There are millions and millions of dollars that are being transacted throughout the entire world online, and Zazzle is a portion of that. And clearly, they are thriving because they are selling all around the world. Their business has been here since 2005, and every year they're just evolving, having the experience be better for not only the customer but also the designer and seller as well. So I do have some people on live with me, and I'd love to hear some comments and ask you, what do you want to know, right? What do you wish somebody would tell you as, advice? What would you love to have heard or hear now? Maybe you're here now and you've been in part of our community for a while, so you're really excited because you have someone to sort of bounce ideas off of and ask questions. But maybe you hadn't found us in a while, and maybe you've been on Zazzle for a long time, and you are thankful that you're here now and you found us. But maybe you're like, I wish I didn't waste 3 hours or 3 years of my life trying to be on the Zazzle platform, figuring it out. And now finally I found Elka and Jen, and thank goodness, because now I can ask the questions. Um, okay. Zazzle. Anna was wondering, let's see. Okay, the whole question went through. Awesome. Okay, I was wondering if there are some ways to change the text template's order when you post a design for sale. I mean, sometimes those personalized text boxes are not in the right order and might be confusing to the customer. Very much relatable. So for when I first started out on Zazzle, not only did I have all of my text boxes be in incomplete order or not in order, and some of them I thought I had made as a template, but then I didn't. So I posted the product for sale, and then I realized that I had to go back and make another product because I didn't make the template properly. They have made it so much more easier with the photo options as well. Previously on Zazzle, way back when, you would upload a photo template and you had to make sure that it was the proper fit or the proper fill, because then by accident, if you didn't do it properly or you said undefined, then it would make the photo look completely different. So you spent hours working on this amazing, beautiful design with, let's say, photo templates and text templates, posted it for sale. It looked perfect and looks awesome on your end, but then when somebody goes in and tries to customize it, it's a nightmare. Doesn't work. All of your text boxes are weird and wonky because all of a sudden, if they add more information, then they bump it over another text template. If they add less information, then there's a huge gap in between. If they uploaded a photo, then the photo could be all skewed, and then it was wonky where it would be blown up on one side, and then it would be half of the faces would be cut off. So they've made it so much better now on the design tool to give you those warnings to let you know that they're not that those things aren't happening for you anymore, which is good. Also in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, we take a long time to showcase it to you properly on how you have to set up those templates. But for Anna's question, to reorder them, for example, you just have to, first of all, I don't know if you're talking about the layers in the menu option where you personally see them if you're in the design tool, and there's like, you've got your photo, and then you've got text number 1, text number 2, then text number 5, and text number 10, and then text number 4. And so those are the things that, like, when you're creating your design, you're not really paying attention to the layers. And so for you as the designer, I would definitely reorder them. You can drag and drop them, right? It's a layers thing. You don't have to worry about actually manipulating it on the design. You can just drag and drop them. If, for example, let's say you have a business card, and you're working on a business card, right? And then the name is at the top. So Jennifer Clark Designs, and then we've got a phone number, we've got an email address, then we've got my address, then maybe we've got my social media, all those things. So you can see the progression of, like, text number 1 should be Jen Clark, text number 2 should be my phone number, text number 3 should be this, this, and this, right? If you set it up that way. If, for example, by accident, I don't know how, because it does happen sometimes when you're creating templates, then you dis-template them, you make them non a template, and then you make another thing a template. Your first template box that you create is number 1. The second one is going to be number 2. The third one is going to be number 3, example, right? If, for example, you decide, oh, actually text number 2 doesn't really need to be a template anymore, so I'm going to untemplate it, like check that box off. You still have text number 1 and text number 3. Text number 2 doesn't exist as a template anymore. The next template that you're going to make, let's say all of a sudden you decide, okay, I want to have a social media now. And you're assuming that it's going to be text 1, text 2, text 3. Well, no, because you've already had 3 text templates. You deselected the second one. Number 2 doesn't exist anymore. Then you make another one. It's going to become number 4. And then so when you go on to your, like, personalize this item on the back, like on the front end, let's say, okay, I want to test this product out and see what it looks like. Then it's going to be template number 1, template number 3, template number 4, template number 5. Number 2 doesn't exist anymore. So what you need to do is, if that's what's your issue, is you have to deselect all of them. So untemplate them all, whatever that, official word is. Deselect them all as templates, then recreate them all as templates again in the proper order. Okay. If, for example, like, you need to reorder them for whatever reason, like you said, that's the same thing. You have to untemplate all of them, then reorder them the way that you want, starting from number 1. Okay. And although, it can be a little bit frustrating, I've worked with menu cards and also table seating charts where if you make one little mistake, you have like 50 lines of text sometimes. And that's very confusing and very overwhelming. So hopefully that's not the case. But yes, you don't want it to be confusing for the customer. So both of those things that I just mentioned, make sure your templates are in order. So the first name should be the first number, right? Because all of a sudden, let's say I have my business card, right? And on the back of the card, I also have some information, maybe a QR code and maybe a website. And on the front, it's my name and my phone number and my Instagram, etc. If they go into that button that says personalize this card, and all of a sudden the first template is my information that's supposed to be on the back, they're like, well, I don't know where that is right now. I can't see that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't visually make sense that you're customizing the first thing, and the first thing is the information on the back. So you have to make it logical for the customer so they don't shy away from the product, because they're like, this is too weird and confusing for me. And that's also why it's important to have your layers proper in your product too. Okay. Sometimes I have my layers proper in the design tool, but not want to open the product page. Okay. I'm not too sure what that means. Like, unless you've now done it, like the product page being when you go into the project page and you click the customize button, you're not in the design tool right now. I'm assuming that's not what you mean. You mean like what the customer would see on that little pop-up box there. So I know templates are interesting and confusing. And so this is why, coming into the Profit by Design Academy coaching program is where we can really hone in. If there was a certain product that's not working for you and we're like, okay, we need to do some more information and some more work to figure what's going on, then this is where, exactly like Anna's question, we would come into the PDA coaching program and you would ask me this specific question and we would do some sleuthing together to figure out why this isn't working for her. Because templates are very super important. because they are the one thing that you've already more or less convinced the person who's about to buy your product on your design. You've more or less convinced them on the product choice. If they click that customize button, that's like the third tier down, they're more or less almost 100% committed because now they're ready to customize the product. But if the customization is hard for them, confusing for them, doesn't make sense, or you can't customize it properly because some people lock their items, some people, some designers I've seen when I go in the back end of their product when we're doing our Profit by Design Academy coaching program calls, our weekly calls, especially for design, and I go into the design tool and I look at their product and I'm playing around with things, looking at it from a customer standpoint, there are so many things that I found that are small, small errors, but huge errors on the customer standpoint of things because it does not it doesn't compute really well. Like, for example, like you have some of your images locked, or the pattern isn't the right thing, or the fonts aren't put properly places, and it completely destroys the design if somebody has, a smaller name or a larger name, or more information or less information. And so that's why it's so important to have a coach, to have somebody to ask those questions, to bounce those ideas off of, and to get that sort of insider information, because it's not always as basic as you think it might be. I've personally made so many mistakes where I had to go back and change my products, and this was my learning curve, and now I know what to look out for because I've made those mistakes, right? I once actually had a product, and this is a funny story. This is probably also something that I wish somebody would have told me when I first started out on Zazzle, was that check your spelling on things. Okay, so check your spelling, check your templates, check those things. But I had a wedding invitation that I had personally made my own font for. So in Photoshop, I made my own font, uploaded that font, and the font had the word wedding in it. And because of the script font, because of whatever I chose, obviously I wasn't paying attention that day, but I made this word and it was a scripty font, so it looked good. It was the word wedding, but it had no I in it. So it was WEDDNG. Okay. And because it was a script font, it looked proper. For whatever reason, it didn't look awkward. It didn't look weird. I uploaded it. It became super popular. Zazzle even featured it on their landing pages. Zazzle featured it on their blog. It was featured everywhere. It sold so many times. And no one ever complained until one time Zazzle sent me a message and said, we're not 100% sure, but we kind of have this inkling that your product is not spelled properly. Like, there's something in your product that's not spelled properly. And we don't want to take it off all of our homepages because it's doing really well, but we also don't want to falsely market to people and give them a product that doesn't have the correct spelling of the word wedding in it. And I looked at the product and I was like, gosh, you're right. So I took down the product because I didn't want to be selling a product. Even though that product was making me money, it was like a huge slap because it was making me a lot of money. But I wanted to keep up my reputation as a good designer, as a cohesive brand, as, giving good customer service and all of those things. And so I wrote to Zazzle and I said, yes, it has a spelling mistake. And so they took it down. I took it down. I made another version of it. I made sure that the spelling was correct. And then it ended up kind of selling here and there, but because I kind of already missed the mark of when I should have posted the product for sale, I didn't actually remake it and get it to the popular status that it was previously. And so that was one of my big mistakes, that I wish somebody would have told me. It was just like, double check your work, make sure that everything is proper, because when you post something out there, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but spelling is a big one, because and then that was a weird one because it wasn't actually very noticeable anyway because of the script font. It looked proper, but those things can really make a difference with your product types and designs if you were just kind of being sloppy about it and just saying, okay, well, this is, it looks good, so I'm just going to put it up there. I always double check my templates. I always double check my spelling. I always double check, okay, does this wording fit the wording that I chose? If somebody adds more information, less information, then I need to make sure that that works for me as well. So that's a biggie. That, like, this is a huge, huge golden nugget worth of, training. And this is more actually what we talk about in the Profit by Design Academy coaching program, because it's very important. Okay. Could you suggest some illustration PNG file websites or vector illustrations for designs? Well, you just have to kind of do your research. There's a couple of things happening now with Creative Fabrica, which I'm not too sure, and I can't really give legal advice on that. But I know that some people were just uploading pretty much the design that they found on the platform and didn't change anything. I think a lot of the stipulations for copyright laws is that you can download a graphic, but you have to add your own things to it or make it a little bit different, and you cannot sell the thing as is. And so Creative Fabrica is one. Creative Market was one. However, the rules are different. Etsy, you have to find different sellers on Etsy that with the different copyright licenses for the availability to use it on print on demand and have it on multiple different sales. One thing that's interesting is that a lot of sellers on Etsy or all these other programs, they say, okay, well, there's a limit of 1,000 copies that can be sold. Well, you're like, well, I'm a POD designer. Jen Clark, I've personally sold like over 700,000 copies of certain designs. And so if I had, a stipulation in one of my copyright agreements that said that I can only make over 1,000 copies or sell over 1,000 copies, then that product would have to be deleted, which I don't want to get myself caught into. So there's a bunch of websites out there and you said vectors and PNGs and things like that. So vectors is a little bit different. I'm not too sure exactly what you're looking for. It would really depend on what niche you're looking into and like the style that you're looking to get into. And so Andre, like this is also where we would help invite you into our Profit by Design Academy coaching program and give you some more guidance and advice moving forward based on your store and based on your brand, all those things. But the one thing that I do want to say is that if you find a website like Etsy, like Creative Fabrica, those are two like main ones that are easy to find on the internet. Make sure that you follow the copyright laws and really contact the designer and make sure 100% that you have a graphic that you can use and upload, because they are available out there. But there have been some issues with people in the past with, not changing the design enough and just uploading the design as is. But that being said, when you create a product on Zazzle, more or less, you're creating, let's say, some sort of home decor or gift, or let's call it even, occasions and stationery, etc., where you're adding text, you're adding other elements, you're adding things that are your own unique design. And so you're probably changing it enough already. Okay. Hopefully that helps. All right. And so now we've gone on for about 20 minutes and some people have asked some questions, which is really great. I just want to say to you that the reason also why I'm going live is that we are inviting you into our SOLD Bootcamp. So I've been mentioning the Profit by Design Academy coaching program. That is our main coaching program that we are opening up the doors to very soon in the next couple of weeks. And this is our launch party for that. And our SOLD Bootcamp is to help you with personalized feedback, advice, and also trainings to get you feeling comfortable and familiar with help like going forward in your Zazzle store so that you can potentially come into the PDA coaching program and move forward with your Zazzle business. In the SOLD Bootcamp, it is a 2-week, I want to say event. It's not a program, it's an event where we are hosting a private Facebook group where you'll be in this Facebook group with all of your other community members and SOLD Bootcamp members. And you will be introduced to 3 different trainings, which is the first one is to kickstart your print on demand business. The second one is learning how to maximize your sales by creating intentional products. The third one is to amplify your sales using promotion. And then we have a masterclass, which is how to amplify your Zazzle sales in 1 month. And after that, after all of those training sessions and the masterclass, throughout the schedule, which the link is in the description of this video, so you can go and see the actual dates of the schedule when you scroll down on that page. You'll be able to see when we're doing those trainings. And after each of those trainings, you'll be receiving homework to do. And in the Facebook group, you will be posting your homework for review. And then you will get a personalized review from myself. And this includes a recorded video, me on camera, giving you details and explaining to you if this is a good design, how you can improve it better, how you can improve your titles and tags better, how you can make your design tweaked a little bit better. This is for brand, this is for niche, intentional products, and also your promotion. So you get personal reviews on all of those things in this boot camp. And you also get daily mindset calls as well, which we're going to be going live into the Facebook group. It is an amazing opportunity for you to join. It's a very small price point for you to get in. It is $47 US, and then you can upgrade to the VIP option, which is an additional $97, and that allows you 5 group setting calls for intimate group setting calls with myself and Elka, and getting access to the replays of the event. Okay, so a 2-week intensive. This is an amazing opportunity. To be honest, it's a very, very small price point for the amount of information and amount of feedback that you're getting. I personally, and so does Elka, personally charges $1,000 per hour for our private coaching clients. And the fact that you get an opportunity to be with us, not only in the SOLD Bootcamp Facebook group, getting personalized reviews and homework done for you, reviews on your homework done for you. But then if you upgrade to VIP, you can be in a small intimate group setting with myself and Elka and get access to us where you can ask any questions above and beyond what we talked about in the training, and have an opportunity to really hone in on specific questions that you might want to ask because you have no clue, right? Because being part of this program, or this event, will help you feel more confident about going forward with your Zazzle business, having those questions answered exactly like Anna's question, exactly like Andre's question, and understanding how you can, have that. I keep on saying the word confidence because the word confidence comes from the fact that you are now not scared of these weird questions that keep looming over your head, and you might think that you're not doing a good job, or you might not think that you're going in the right direction. You might not know how to do the templates, do the templates, do the design tool, understand what graphics to use, right? And then Andre, for example, it really depends on which graphics you are thinking about buying. And I personally, let's say you're in the VIP section of our SOLD Bootcamp, and you say, I'm thinking about buying these graphics because I want to get into this niche. Then I would say to Andre, okay, we're going to look at those graphics. We're going to look and see what they are. And then I would help him understand if this is a worthy investment or not, and if he should maybe try something different and go into a different sort of mood of the graphics, or different types of graphics based on the avatar that he has. Okay, so understanding that this is super important for you, make sure that you come and join us for March 5th to the 19th, 2025. Small price point of $47. We're going to help you feel really confident in going forward, help you understand all those questions that you need answered, and hone in on your brand, hone in on your niche, your avatar, intentional products, and promotion. You're going to be set up to feel that, sense of confidence going forward that you are doing the right thing. Okay. All right. Sign up for the bootcamp. How can I best be prepared? Newbie to Zazzle, no products yet. Not a problem. Thing that you can do to be prepared is have at least your store open and have an account, right? An account and a store. But I wouldn't even rewind. Just have your account, okay? Because the biggest part of the SOLD Bootcamp that we're going to be doing at the beginning is figuring out your store name and your brand and your niche, okay? And so if you're completely new, you don't have an idea really what you're doing, I want you to start fresh with us. There's no preparation that you have to do. Just make sure that you have access to Zazzle, clearly, and have a little bit of an understanding of what it means to post a product, etc. But you don't have to. We want to do some research with you later in the SOLD Bootcamp, but I would not open up a store. If you're a complete newbie, you're actually in the best position ever, because then you can start fresh and then you don't have to worry about recreating something or redoing something. It's the biggest thing that a lot of our clients who come into our, the SOLD Bootcamp or our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, is people actually end up creating an entirely new store based on the training that we gave them, because they want to start fresh and they want to make sure that they're doing it the right way. We won't show you how to set up the store in the SOLD Bootcamp, so you will have to do that. But if you have a lot of questions in that and you've signed up for the bootcamp, we will clearly help you if you're stuck with anything. The SOLD Bootcamp is to give you more of an idea on what sort of things need to be part of your niche and your brand and your avatar first before you start your store. It's super easy to set up your store. So if you have any questions about that, we also actually have a YouTube video on that, which is available on the links of the description of other videos that we post, not this live one here, but it says it's a 3-part challenge to start earning on Zazzle challenge, and that will help you understand how to open up your first store and post a first product for sale if you don't want to wait for the SOLD Bootcamp. But you're in a really great position because you don't have to do anything. You're going to learn everything from scratch and just have an idea of maybe where you want to go, because we're going to be priming you to help you understand your brand and understand your niche, but you have to have an idea of what you want to do. We're not going to give you those ideas. We're helping you understand how you can tap into what you want to do. All right. Super. Can't wait to have you there in the SOLD Bootcamp. It's going to be awesome. Love these lives. Thanks for taking the time to make these. You're very welcome. Missed the first 20 minutes, our replay. It's all available on the YouTube channel. You just have to go back to our YouTube channel and look at the live stream. Okay. All right. So we invited you into the SOLD Bootcamp. The link is in the description of this video. Make sure that you check it out. Please make sure that, in terms of the price point, it's super, super affordable for the fact that you're spending 2 weeks with us and you're going to be getting all of this amazing information. These YouTube videos, if you think that these are helpful and we go into depth, the YouTube videos are just one tiny portion of what it means to actually understand the whole concept of working on the platform on Zazzle. And so the SOLD Bootcamp is something that we can do to help you within that container of being in the Facebook group and giving you those trainings, and then helping you with the VIP sessions if you decide to upgrade your ticket, so that you will be able to ask us any questions. Okay. Will the next event place during... I'm not too sure what you're asking. I'm not too sure what event you're talking about, if it's for the SOLD Bootcamp or if it's this YouTube live thing that we're doing right now. But the YouTube lives, I've just kind of done them impromptu based on my own schedule, sent an email out to everyone on our list. So if you're in our list for our emails, then you would have gotten a notification. And if you sign up for the SOLD Bootcamp, then you will be able to join with that. So the bootcamp is in Eastern Standard Time times. So if you sign up for the bootcamp, there are replays available if you join for the VIP sessions. I can give you an idea of more or less when the times will be, because that's a good question. So we have them scheduled more or less at around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 5th is our welcome party. Then, for example, our mindset calls each week or each day, that we will be going live into the Facebook group. It's not an actual Zoom call. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the trainings, the first one is on March 6th. You can see this in the schedule, but the first one is March 6th. And then the second one is March 10th. And then the third one is March 11th. All of those are at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So midday, depending on where you are around in the world, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the most important trainings will be happening. And those are the 3 phases and also the masterclass. Okay. And then everything else is in the Facebook group. Those are live Zoom calls where you will be joining us on Zoom for the training. And then you will be getting access to the masterclass on Zoom. Then if you join the VIP sessions, then those are also on Zoom. The rest of everything, when Ilka and I decide to kind of go in and, maybe do the reviews, that's not at a specific time. That the mindset calls in the morning are scheduled at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. You are very welcome. Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see every single one of you in the bootcamp. If you have any questions, you can always email us. Hopefully by this point, because you are on our live stream and you have been notified somehow that you're on our email list, and so and have been invited by email as well to the SOLD Bootcamp. But if not, then the link is in the description of this video below. You can click that. You'll get the schedule. You'll get the sign up page. It's $47 for the 2 weeks, March 5th to the 19th. And then also if you upgrade with the VIP package, that's an additional $97. And then you get 5 sessions with myself and Elka for half an hour in a small intimate group setting on Zoom, where you can ask us any questions that you might want. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we will see you in the boot camp. Have a great weekend, everyone.